Do you deserve to know what the Department of Government Efficiency is doing? Well, DOGE doesn't think so. And this is a great time to be talking about it because it just so happens to be Sunshine Week, which is the annual week to celebrate the public's right to know. DOGE is saying that it shouldn't be subject to FOIA, but that it should be subject instead to something called the Presidential Records Act. Now, the big difference between the Presidential Records Act and the FOIA has to do with when the public can actually access these records. You could file a FOIA request with any agency today about something they're doing right now. But with the PRA, you have to wait until 5 years after the end of the president's administration to start filing FOIA requests. So if you want to know what DOGE is doing right now, you can't rely on the Presidential Records Act to find out. There was a recent court ruling that you might have heard about that said that DOGE is likely subject to FOIA. Now, this was a lawsuit that was brought by a nonprofit called the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. And basically, what they did is they filed a FOIA lawsuit with DOGE and OMB for records. Now, DOGE said, hang on, we're not subject to the FOIA. But luckily, Judge Christopher Cooper disagreed. And what Judge Cooper found was that DOGE exercises substantial independent authority from the president and is likely subject to FOIA. But does that mean that we're likely to see DOGE records anytime soon? I don't think so. One of the biggest questions that we need to ask is if the DOGE FOIA ruling will stand. Well, the government's probably going to appeal Judge Cooper's ruling, and there are two other cases that are making their way through the courts right now that might make things more complicated. But the other thing to consider is, okay, let's say all the courts agree and DOGE is subject to FOIA. Does that mean we're going to see records? Not necessarily. One of the things we could see DOGE do is something that's tried out at other agencies that it's gotten involved in, like U.S. Agency for International Development. And basically what we saw DOGE do there is stamp every single one of its emails sensitive, which makes it harder for it to get released. Could DOGE do that with its own emails? Most likely. Another question to ask is, what would happen if DOGE decided to destroy its records? In the event that DOGE is subject to FOIA and does destroy its records, it would be up to the National Archives to step in. But the acting archivist of the United States is another Trump official, Marco Rubio. Would Marco Rubio really be able to step up to Elon Musk and DOGE to stop the destruction of records? It seems unlikely to me. If you want to know more about DOGE and FOIA, feel free and visit our website at freedom.press/secrecy.